I'm like, I don't care. Send me wherever. So I got to Calipat. Goon squad meets me. I go to classification. They're like, well, you know, what's up with you? What's up with you? Oh, I'm a Christian. They're like, yeah, right. What's up with you? I'm a Christian. We don't want to hear that. We're going to put you on B yard. Mainline. Cool, I'm happy. I go out there. I go to church. The goon squad follows me into church. I go out on the yard. I'm walking the track. I'm minding my own business. Some guy got stabbed. The yard goes down. He's like from me to Chris. He's there. He's stabbed. Gooners come up to me. How you doing, John? I'm fine. You know what happened? I didn't see a thing. Oh, you're a Christian, huh? I say, yeah, I'm a Christian. I didn't see a thing. Because I didn't. He just went down. They're like, okay. So about a week later, another stabbing. I'm on the yard. I'm out running this time. And there's a stabbing, maybe from me, maybe 25 yards away, the guy's down. The gooners come to me again. Why are you sweating, man? You're breathing hard. They just want to blame me for anything. But they didn't know what to do with me as a Christian. They don't know what to do with me. I had a meeting on the yard with the fellas. We have this meeting. I said, just don't ask me nothing, because otherwise I'll disrespect you. I'm a Christian. I'm not going to play. So everybody after about 2 years got used to me. They're like, okay, John Lowry is a Christian. Leave him alone. So I become the inmate pastor. As an inmate pastor, I have issues that I have to deal with because I know offenses that people come to prison for. And I had to go through this big struggle internally, measuring what's the difference between your crime and your crime and your crime. There is none. It's all a sin in God's eyes. So I had to quit judging, and I had to learn that. A couple years later, I paroled. I wanted to go back to prison so bad. As soon as I paroled, I wanted to get in there. I wanted to give back positive programs to the guys. I feel that anybody who wants to change should be given every opportunity to change. And it's not up to the government to change them. It's up to everybody sitting here, all of us sitting here, to change a life, one life at a time, one person at a time. So 2 years after trying, while I'm on parole, I'm banging at the door. Heck no, you can't come in here. You're on parole. You're on parole. I got asked to come speak at a volunteer dinner, and Dennis was there. And I spoke about the importance of every volunteer going into this prison making an impact on a single person so that you can create that ripple effect and start changing lives. Warden, what's his name? Stu Ryan. Stu Ryan from the back of the room said, come see me on Monday. I'm going to clear you to go to the prison. Next thing I know, they're giving me keys and an alarm, and I'm going in and out of the prison. They believed I was a Christian. Imagine that. But what I wanted to say here tonight was all the stuff. We'll all share war stories. That's part of our testimony. But the important thing that we have to do for God is we have a responsibility to everyone that we run into to teach them that there's a way to live a life with integrity, respect, honesty, and in faith, being a Christian. That it should be our testimony. Someone should look at us, and even though we're funny looking and we got ink or big mustaches, bald hair, or you're gray, they should want to know why you're different before you ever even open your mouth. And you should have a living testimony for Jesus. Chris was able to capture some of this in the book. He took stories from all of us and put them in this book. And it's a fantastic book. And the guys inside the prisons and organizations up and down the state are dying to get copies of this book. But Chris, because he's a good man, he did it with the intent of sharing it for free, needs support from all of us. So when everybody's all done talking and everything else, and we have a prayer, there's going to be a push for money. Dennis knows I'm straightforward, just like this. Bust out money out of your pocket, because it's going to go to something good. What you give today can change somebody's life. Somebody created a tract that was sent to me while I was in segregation about a dog from National Geographic, and it changed my life. Forever changed my life. And now I work in 27 California prisons, and I work in prisons in 4 other states. And it's a blessing to do that. I have a guy here that was just up in LA on parole, and he wasn't doing good, and I went into the parole office with a long sleeve shirt and slacks looking good, and I said, no, we don't want a one-day pass. I want to transfer his parole down to San Diego. We'll take care of him. And they said, yes, you can, because of a testimony of Jesus in my life, not because of war stories or anything else. but because that ripple effect, I want that man to change someone else's life too. So when you're here tonight, understand the reason is to give and to support and to listen to all of us tell our stories. But without God, none of us have a story. And without us surrendering to God, knowing that we're broken people, there is no success to talk about. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. And I just want people to know that are here that nobody will ever make a penny off of this project. It's certainly not for that. But this, to me, it's like 21 modern-day Apostle Pauls. So how many people here, you can raise your hands, how many people here believe that lives can be changed? Every hand goes up. You know, if you asked a lot of people that, they would say, lives can't be changed. The guy who's coming up next will say his life couldn't be changed. I know lives can be changed. Now, I wasn't a convict. I have my, this is going to sound so wussy right now, but I have my 6th grade report card, straight F's in writing. I just wrote a book. Figure it out. Lives can be changed. And one of my favorite people when I talk about people that can change lives is a guy that's become a great friend of mine. And he's a musician. But I wouldn't have wanted to know him 20 years ago. It's a different kind of guy. Matthew. MC. Got some music for you.
Hey, how you guys doing? It's an honor. It's an honor and a pleasure. No. Jesus the superstar. Yeah, I mean, my story's is different. I was adopted at 6 months old by a white family. My dad was a doctor. My mom was a nurse, is a nurse. Moved to California at the age of 4. Grew up in the suburbs of Mission Viejo, California. And we came out to Orange County when I was 4 years old. And, you know, life was good, you know? I had everything. Lights never went out, never ran out of food, had the latest toys, good clothes, everything. And, I mean, it's a long story to snowball up into prison, but I had an identity crisis, you know? I grew up in a white environment. And by the time I got to the age where I could really know the difference and started wondering, you know, I didn't learn much in school about my heritage, you know. I learned that we were slaves and there was Martin Luther King, and that's about all they taught in school. And people say, you know, life imitates art, art imitates life. Gangster rap came out and it blew me away. And just straightforward, and it might sound funny, but it's my life. I was like, okay, this is what it's like to be black. And I really adopted it. My walk, my talk, everything changed. People started moving down from LA and other counties and bringing gangs and the gang mentality down there. And I just gravitated to it like full force, man, and went all in. And I landed in prison. 19 years old, I caught a murder. Shot and killed a 17-year-old. And I went to prison. And at that time, it was like, who was it? I think Gray Davis was governor. You take a life, you ain't coming out. So I went in already knowing, like, this is my life, man. And with that mentality, I just gave myself to prison. I never gangbanged, but I had the same mentality. If you did something to my homie, I'm coming. And I did all my time a lone wolf. I never clicked up. If you was just cool, you was cool. And it's different for blacks than it is for Mexicans and whites, at least in California prisons. You know, there's a different political climate and structure. And, you know, so other than a race war, I'm not obligated to nothing. People blacks can stab each other all day long. I don't have to do nothing. But I wasn't that guy. I was like, you know, I'm from Orange County. I'm going to prove myself. Knock people out. Wars, attempted murder on the police, sent them on a lifeline. The whole, the same war stories. I mean, you could tell a war story any different way, but it's the same thing. You assaulted someone, hurt someone, you thought you was tough for it. And I thought, like, I would push up, come out the shoe, push up to a new line, and we got these things called 128s. And I was so proud that just the first person I could show. Am I active? I don't bang, but I'm very active. Look, and the chrono shows everything you did, everywhere you, not everywhere you've been, but it's just the gist of what you're in for and all that. And it was like a badge of honor to me, man. And I just got better and better at being a prisoner because I thought that's where I was going to be at. I went in, I'm not going to lie, first place, who said Folsom? Dude, hey, you said it was funny, happy going over that hill. You go up and it's green grass and you come through, it's nice, there's deers and wild turkey. I'm like, man, where are they taking me, man? Come over this hill and there's this gray wall. And I kept my face straight, but inside I was shaking in my boots, man. I was 19 years old and they drop you off, bro. Here's a roll of toilet paper, a bar of soap, survive. You're in cell, whoop-de-whoop. And so, I was scared to death, but I approached it with the same responses I had that led me to prison, you know what I mean? And I learned over time, but anyway, I could go on and on, but I learned over time that, me shooting and killing somebody wasn't a crime that just happened that night. It was my inability to check problems way back in my teenage years. And they just continued to grow and grow, and alcohol and anger and the gang mentality and all that, to where I was at that night with a gun in my hand, able to pull the trigger and shoot somebody and not care about a human life or where them bullets were flying. You know what I mean? And so it took a lot of reconstruction, and you mentioned how Christians got at you, John, and I've always had those people in my life, man. And the seeds, when I made a decision I wanted to change, all those seeds came back. Little conversations, tidbits, like I retained it. And when I started soul searching and going to church, it all flooded back to me. And then God blessed me with a beautiful wife that just, I remember she said something to the effect, heaven still has room for two, or, it might sound corny, but I was like, all right, it's better than the cell I'm in, right? All right, let's try it, But anyway, I got out of prison. God bless me. Period, point blank. By man's law, I should still be in prison. By God's law, he got me right where I'm supposed to be. I met Dennis. Larry Training Center came in, did X-Fest in 2013, and it just turned the yard into a park. It was like the first time I was on the yard, and it wasn't, not that I was a scary dude, but I just didn't even bother looking behind me. I was so enthralled with the bikes, you know what I'm saying? He had motorcycles on the yard, skateboarding, all that stuff. But anyway, I talked to Dennis on the yard. I'm like, man, I want to do what you do. He's like, man, you can do it, bro. If you get out, I got a place for you. And he kept his word. I didn't get out. I went to the board, got denied. I told him, he's like, I still got a place. Don't lose hope. And I fought. Me and my wife fought, went through the struggle. And the next time I went to the board, I got a date. And I was here 24 hours after I got set free. And I haven't left. I've graduated, but I come back every Sunday, go to church here faithfully. I'm a part of everything they do. He got me going back into the prisons a year after I got out of prison. Go teaching, giving life.